So today I'm going to install the Givi PL cam rack for the Outback Givi Outback Trekker. Just figuring out where to start. Got like these 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3. Some instructions. They're not very clear though. Let's look at the instructions. There's a list of things that they sent me, and the directions are like awful. There's no step-by-step installation. Just says cut through the back, and maybe my motorbike is a little later version, like mine is a 2017 and this is 2008 to 2012. I don't see where these two would go in here, so I guess I need to figure this out. Okay, so coming back, still didn't figure out or saw where those things go in, these guys. But let me take off my all-rider rack. These guys and the racks below, and then hopefully after removing this I might be able to find that. Okay, so let me do that. Okay, if you need to find the right torque screw driver, or okay, so using the torque screw to loosen up for the upper racks. Your situation might be slightly different because you might not have the rack on the luggage rack on the back, so you might have to just unscrew maybe these two and these two. And to remove the alt-rider rack, you need like the hex screw driver to just loosen that. So these two, these 4, and then it should come right off. Maybe I need both hands. Let me take it off and get back to you guys on how it looks. Okay, so it looks like I need to take this piece, this is BMW on it, out as well by unscrewing these torque screws. So, and then hopefully I'll find the 2 things going in over there underneath that. Looks like it should be underneath that because the lower rack, this one, sorry, zoom out. Yeah, that piece is actually getting in there. So hopefully I take this out and then I should find it. Okay, so I got that off and I see the 2017 BMW has in fact these two screws, and I believe I don't have to cut through this because the newer BMWs have the rack installed to this bracket, so I should be good. I'm glad I found it. Okay, the next step, getting this rack off, basically, which has two screws. Let me turn on the flash. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, iPhone. Okay. Alright. So over there, you guys can't see anything, I know. 1 second. Okay, so basically there are two screws for this rack. There you go. Two screws over there, and the other side it's two screws over there, and then on the top these two which I showed earlier. Take these two off and then they should come right off, but you see the exhaust there. I don't think I can pull this through inside because of this there, so this rack wouldn't come off easily, so maybe I need to remove this part out, like the cylinder, and then get that out. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so I've removed all the screws. Okay, the rack is still here, but I can take it off now. Exhaust is still there. I didn't take it off, so I'm gonna try to push it out, if possible, without taking the exhaust. But that will save some time, but I don't think it will work, but let me try. I do need to take the exhaust off because without that, I can't pull this down. So I'm gonna remove these springs and then open this screw and then take this pipe off. Since this is loose, it might fall on me, so I'm gonna just bolt it over here. Just have one bolt there so that I can take this off secure and safe. Yeah, it's turned out to be a longer installation. So I took off this screw for the exhaust. I'm trying to take out the springs. I took out one spring. As you can see, this one is hanging because I took it off. So basically I have used a wire. Don't use something that you're using. If you have a cord or a wire or a rope or a thread strong enough, just fish it through and then pull it off. Like, for example, okay, so just do that, and then you can just basically pull it. this thing is much stronger. I think I need both hands. Okay, so got them both out. God, it's a nightmare. Okay, now you know how to take out the exhaust. I hope I can put it back. Maybe you guys don't have to take out the springs, because once you open this nut over here, you have a little bit of play. Like, yeah, you can maybe push it through that, and then you don't have to take the exhaust off completely. Let me try that. So basically I'm gonna just pull the exhaust out like that. Try to push this guy in. And then I need to push this down so that these two go off from here. So I managed to push the rack down through these holes. Yeah, those ones, those two, right here. So now I just need to push this through the exhaust by pulling this back, and then it should be good to go. So basically managed to like take these, like the rack off these holes there. So now basically I need to just push this guy through this gap and so pull the exhaust out a little bit. Alright, I did manage to get this out. Oh, it was tough. So basically I pushed this part, so push this out over here, and then pulled it under here, and then the whole thing came off. But you have to be really careful not to break anything. Okay, thank God it came off. So basically it looks like this. No racks, so I just need to screw this back and then install the springs, and then I should be good to go. Now let's start with this one. Just to get the first step, you have to do so many things before you get to installing this one, which is supposed to go from underneath and come out of these holes right there. So this basically says use 9 and the 19. The 19's over there, and then 9, 13. And then just screw them in. But basically there's so many of these that they sent me. So either I use the ones I already have, or I don't know if I have to use these ones. So, but I think I need to use these ones because it says it's 19 and 9 and 13. So let me get this on there. Okay, so basically it says 9 with asterisk, which is you use 9 for only with version with threaded holes, and then 13 if I guess if it's not. So I guess I have to use 13 because these holes are not threaded, and then use these bolts, which are like number 19. Actually all of them are numbered here on the sheet. So 19 will be these. So I have these shorter ones and a little longer and really longer. I'm guessing for the back plate, I think I need to use the really long ones. I believe that's what 13 is. So let me try those. And then the bolts. I believe I can use any bolt. So, oh, looks like they're bigger, these ones, than these small ones, which were smaller. Then for these, I think either of these, I think it's the same size, because it looks like the diameter or the radius is same for. Maybe not. Just try it out. Screw them in and see if it fits. Huh? So let me install this one. Sorry guys, I'm doing this with one hand, so bear with me here. So I just put this in from the bottom to this bracket, and the diagram says I need to bolt them from the behind like this, if you can see. So I just have done these two. I need to like tighten them up. Okay, so this is done. You can see this coming out through the indicators, behind the indicators, and I guess that's it for this section. So let's move on to the next step. It's printed on both sides, so and it says A, B, C, D. So this one was the first step. I believe this should be the second step. I start installing the panniers. Sorry, the rack, and start bolting these two underneath as well after that. But here it says A, so I'm guessing this is the one. This is the next step. So A is the next step. And then the B. Okay, let me start with A, which is a longer bracket on this side and a shorter one on the exhaust side. And I'm using 16s and 12s with some, yeah, so 4 is this longer one, 3 is the shorter one, and then 16s and 12s to fasten that. And I believe 16s are basically spacers. Okay, so now this is done, which is pretty sturdy. The bolts are in, I have tightened them up, and they have like thread lockers inbuilt, so it should not come off for both of them. You can see the white stuff in there. It's gonna lock threads. So the next steps are go to the A section, which says A at the bottom there, and then install the shorter bracket on the exhaust side and the longer one on the other side, and the 16 are the spacers and 12s are the bolts. So basically you have the next bigger bolts and the smaller ones. So for doing an A, you need to get these ones, which are like, I guess, 30 mm longer, the next big ones, and then use these spacers, which are like that. So I'm gonna just do this from inside and then flip for the thing. Yeah, both should be the same size. Oh, this is a smaller one. A little bigger one, this one. put it in the back, like this. It goes in here, like there. Those two, and hangs down like that. And I have already done the other one. Alright, next step. That's my B, which I guess I'm going to start on the exhaust side, which has these 4 screws, and then yeah, and these 2 on the top. Sorry, 3 and then 2, which I believe, let's see, it's right there, right here. Okay, the 3 would go in here and 2 would go in here. And there is also a spacer for the other side, but not on this side. Okay, so these are the small 7s with washers and then the bolts, and then we need to use the spacer. I guess both the diagrams are for the exhaust side. My bad. So it's gonna be this going into this to the rack onto the exhaust door here. So I'm just trying this out. I have this spacer. I just bolted like a couple of screws, and then it fits perfectly like into these. And then I need to slip this part from behind in there, like, yeah, like there. So it was hard to handle all these parts together. So what I've done is I just took this and then just added 1 bolt over here. Since they just slip in, like this just slips in, so I can now slip it through this inside without having to worry about this part. It's pretty hard to get the bolts in there with the exhaust, so I'm trying to use the tape to stick the bolts in there and then try to get enough grip to screw them in and then tighten them up. But it would be certainly easier if you should have just taken the exhaust off. Okay, so I was able to get these screws in without taking the exhaust. Really tough to do that. You don't have much gap in to hold the nuts, then screw them up. I actually didn't have the 5x16, so I had to go to Home Depot. Hope you guys can see this. And basically I was holding over here like this, and then use that to screw it up. So if you have a magnetic tool that is like can hold the nut, it will be great because it might fall down if you don't have much space to hold the nut. But I'm happy it's done. So now I have to just screw these in the next step, and then the other side. For that I think I need to take out the foot peg. So let's go to the next step. Okay, the next step, so basically to take out the foot peg and then attach one end of it and attach the foot peg back. Use the 8, 15 and 19 like bolts and screws, and then attach it to the other end I believe it's here. Maybe not, let me see. No, attach the other end to this one here that we have done earlier. So this and that. Let's do it. So now I got to take this pin out. So what I'm doing is basically taking this wrench and then just trying to twist this straight. Okay, and once it is straight, you can just open this up and then start closing it. And of course, if you have pliers, please use your pliers. There you go. Okay, so the foot peg is out. Now we're gonna go and do the nuts. On the foot peg, we need to use 8, 15, and 19, which is the one nut they have given for number 8, which is a long nut, and I think it could be similar to the slightly larger, I guess, in the sense the diameter is bigger, but similar to the ones we have used here. And I think there's only one of that in the set. And then we're going to use like the 19, bolt 19, which is this one. We got 7 of those. And then 15 spacer, like a washer. Yep, let me do that and then show you how it looks. So we have this, looks like this, and it's long, and the washer, and then the nut for that. So they're gonna go onto the foot peg right there. Okay, I did tighten this up because it's a bolt. It makes it way harder, like to lift it up or down. Hope I need to grease it up and then it should be fine. But the second side is up. I just need to fold this guy underneath there, and then the back. I guess the rest of the installation should be easy. Just getting the center, this one. Okay, next step, to screw this one, I think you need to get the smaller size nut. It says number 9, which is this one. I think it's 20 mm long, so that's the smallest one, I'm guessing. because the other ones are like 45, which is this one we just did for the foot peg. So it's half of it, if you can see. So get this one to bolt underneath over here. So let's do that. Okay, finally we got to C. Part C, basically bolting these on the left over there. Pretty much lined up automatically. And then these, I just need to correct that and bolt them up after that. We need 11, 19, and yeah, 6 is already attached, so which is in the center, but we need 11 and 19. So let's go to the sheet. So 11 is 25 mm bolt, and then 19 is the bolt that goes on the back. So number 11, which is this, is 25 mm long. Actually, I just realized that they also have the scale, so you can basically see how long is that. Apologies, I think it's 11, the number 11 screws, which is this guy, which is 25 mm long, and you have 4 of them, so you can basically measure them and see which one is like 25 mm. I should have done this earlier. Let's see this one. It's like 25 mm, so these are like smaller screws. And then we have these bolts. So let me have these fastened over here. Okay, so the next step is basically I have not screwed them up completely because you can see I want to like do this, the center part, and then tighten them up. So the next step is to add the center bar to the 1 and the 2 racks and use the number 10 screws, which is step D. The number 10 screw is 16 mm long, and we only have 2 of them. So I believe the smallest one, which are these 16 mm screws. And these 2 with those big ones, and then we should be done for today, and then tighten them up. So hopefully that's what this thing says at the end. Let's see. Yeah, I guess the C is actually for both sides. The C section, although it shows only one side, I believe you have to do it on both sides for this. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you guys with a new video. I want to ride this bike with the panniers on. I have the 58 liter top box, so I'm going to install that back, the alternator rack, and then the 2 panniers. I have 48 and the 37 liter. So I'm going to post some videos. Stay tuned.